You know, guys, life is insane. You can have everything at one moment, and it all can be took away. League of Legends Arcane, Episode 3. So we continue off. Vi appears to be about to get arrested or thrown into prison. This is where Dad comes in. He's like, hey, what you're doing is really great. Vi gets locked up before she can give herself away, and Father gets put into cuffs. This is where everything just backfires. He actually got sold out by one of the officers for some measly coins. And it turns out the guy with the red eyeball that comes and actually gets him, he is his brother, and his name is Hugo. Hugo, interesting fella. I what I can get from it is he wants to go on an uprising. Father, on the other hand, he doesn't want anything to do with that. He wants to move on and stay away from it. He's kind of quit. He would die for the cause, but he will not fight for it, which shows him that he has grown as a character. Further ado, Father gets beat up by the ex-dude that took the purple stuff. I don't even know if he has a name. He's just the one that robbed him in the first place, and he took the experimental purple goo. He turns into a big monster. Father gets beat up in one punch, knocked out, and he's took by Hugo to his hideouts. Moving on, let's talk about something happy, guys. Something that's not as sad. We go back to the lab. We are actually making progress. You have Jace as well as Victor. They figure out, hey, we can stabilize this thing. This is where we gotta sneak into the academy, get back to what's inside of Dr. Heimer's lab. It turns out, as they're sneaking into this lab, that they get caught by what I presume is... It's one of the council members, but she kind of looks like a princess. She's actually dressed really well and pretty beautiful, should I say. I mean, hey, I'm down for it if you know what I'm saying. Like, I rock with it. It's dope. But, yeah, they get in there, they get their stuff, they make it back. There's a lot of experimentation. I don't want to go back to this one, but they end up making progress. It's trying to almost make this connection. We get to see Victor's cane, and I'm like hyped. I'm like, oh, it's gonna get dope. It's gonna get dope. Not just yet. We're gonna see what this hextech gear can do and what it kind of does. It's kind of funny because hextech is the whole entire League of Legends game if you think about it, because of all the items you buy. Well, not all of them, but large majority of the powerful items. That's what it is. So, yeah, that was a really dope thing that they did here. Anyway, it's like making them levitate and stuff, and as they're trying to stabilize it, that's what was happening. Meanwhile, as Heimer and two other officers were barging in, as well as the lady from earlier, and things are good. They think it's the future, and yeah, everything should be happy for them. And follow-up episodes, I want to see what they can do with this. New weapons, new cool stuff. Let's go back. The group wants to go and save Father. This is where Vi, as well as the two other boys, they say, hey, pick your weapon. And this is where Vi picks up her iconic weapon, the two gauntlets. That is what I was so hyped for in this episode. And it is very much one of the big exciting parts when it comes to the action, is her using the same gauntlets her father used. But this is only because it's Vi's iconic weapon, but it makes it twice as powerful that it's her dad's as well. I am prepared to say that Jinx gets left out. She doesn't get to go with the gang. Vi says, hey, you should probably sit this one out. And they make their way into there. Turns out they get to the factory that I wasn't even believing this, but literally not too far away from them. This is where Hugo was the whole time. I find that so stupid that he was in the same place as them and they had no idea that he was there. I mean, come on. Your father is like one of the biggest people down there and he didn't know? And it's his brother. Like, what's with that, guys? But that was my only gripe about that. They get in there and it turns out it is a trap. Vi goes ham here. I can't lie, she knocked out a bunch of people. She has to fight back. Meanwhile, you have Milo trying to unlock Father's cuffs. He's stuck in a chair. They're going to do some experiments on him. Doesn't really happen. I think the whole intention was to get these kids here. And whenever these kids are here, this is where they're ready to, I guess, torture him? Maybe get some hatred out of him. I don't know what he was going for here. Other than that, it was definitely a trap because there was a window open that they can crawl down into. But yeah, Vi really whoops a bunch of them. And of course, the same dude that robbed him earlier, he ends up taking more of the purple stuff, gets big, and it's too much for Vi. Vi makes her way back, crawling on the ground. She gets beat pretty bad by this dude's punch. I mean, I can't really blame her. If Father was getting beat up in one punch, Vi would take negative punches. I'm sorry to say. She is very powerful. Don't get me wrong. She crawls her way into like this doorway. I like to say it's like one of those slide doors. She slides it back and she's trying to hold it. Meanwhile, the bigger kid with the glasses, I don't remember his name. I don't know if it's that important. It kind of shows me how important it is after the end of this episode, sadly. But we're getting to that. We're cooking up. I don't mean to go play by play, but I was feeling intense and I like to talk about it slowly, go through it because it feels intenser. But yeah, she's holding the door. Meanwhile, the big kid is trying to hit it out to make a back entrance. That way they can escape. In between all this is where Jinx comes up with this idea. That same purple stone, gemstones, whatever you call them, the same ones that blew up. She went 2 and 2. She was crying, upset. She throws this like toy monkey, looks at these gemstones, and we see back this big explosion. 2 and 2 come together. We can take her grenades that don't work. We can put these gemstones and actually make a real grenade. And everything just gets more crazy. So Jinx is trying to sneak up this roof. She almost falls, but she finally gets there and she throws this monkey bomb. It's literally like a Call of Duty monkey bomb, except it has 3 Bakugan in it. We're going to call them Bakugan. But they're the magic stones that were essentially used, the same ones that exploded. So we know these things are very powerful, unstable, unless you stabilize them. And it's ticking, ticking, ticking. And we thought it was about to stop. It hits this final tick out of nowhere. Boom. First explosion. And every time we would go back. Another explosion. Back. Explosion. And it would show these different shots. But it really costed a lot here. Because we had, what I'd like to say, 2 deaths. Both the boys don't survive here, so not important characters, but hey, they were great. I wouldn't be mad if somehow they're brought into the game, even if it means memorializing them or making them part-time shopkeepers. Gosh, I shouldn't be making fun of it, but they are animated characters, so there's some leeway here. But sad to say, the one big guy's glasses, they fall off. They get hit by the electrical field, like the electricity field of the magic stones. I don't know what it is, but I was thinking, oh man, maybe these are the same goggles that Ezreal wears. I was pretty wrong, but hey, that would have been cool. Anyway, everything's coming apart. Father ends up getting out of his cuffs after all of that. Vi is trapped underneath of something because the explosion was just crazy. Everything went literally everywhere. And it was the big mistake of it all. But in Jinx's mind, she just wanted to help at that moment. And it really meant, hey, she actually did it this time. She was so proud of herself. But Vi was stuck underneath of something. Father gets out of his cuffs finally after struggling after all this time. And this is where he starts fighting back. But things just don't go his way. He had some type of claws. I believe it's from the chair's restraints. And he was fighting pretty good until he got to the same dude that robbed him, that drunk the purple stuff. This is where he gets beat up. But he kind of wins this. I think I'm having a little fuzziness now that I think about it. Somehow, some way, not that the purple guy matters too much, but he was so powerful. That guy needs to be in the game. He's a level 99 boss. Make him a buff. Make the one blonde dude buff that takes the purple stuff. I don't care. I gotta see it. But moving on, it was intense. Father actually takes Hugo by the neck. And while he has him by the neck, we keep getting this flashback of some type of knife that gets took out and he gets stabbed in the side. And he actually gets stabbed in the side in this moment. He gets pushed off, and down there is like a bunch of this purple liquid. He ends up drinking this purple liquid because blonde dude is coming back to come and beat up get the other girl, which is Jinx. And it's just crazy because he comes back, Father does, and he beats the crap out of the big dude. Not only that, Hugo, he gets a little beat down too. Like, it was crazy. After all this, Vi was saved. Father just sits there on the ground. Lifeless corpse right there. He's like, hey, be good to your sister. Yeah, that's pretty much what we get there at the end. And it's very sad, because we already know what's coming. This is where Jinx comes in, and it was kind of seen. Like, you kind of knew it was coming. She was happy, excited. And Vi's like, you did this? Everything just went south. Vi ends up punching her sister, and I am like, oh my god. They really did it. This is how everything went down between the two. And I can see why there's some hatred going on here. But after all that, Vi ends up leaving her sister laying on the ground. And Vi even sees what's going on. Toppling over top of her with a knife is Hugo. The same knife that killed her father. Jinx is just upset about her sister leaving her. And, well, things are getting ready to get really crazy because Vi gets took away by the same police officer that gave out their father, and Jinx gets took in by this Hugo guy. I was surprised that Hugo can give a hug, but oh my goodness, fantastic episode. Let's get to the rating, guys. That was a lot. I know I went a little crazy there, and I kind of lost what happened there exactly between the blonde dude and father. But you get the point. If you've seen this, you know, describing it, going through it emotionally, it's always fun. I like a little play-by-play action. Straight away, let's get to the rating, guys. If I had to rate this, I'm going to say it's a 9. Like, absolute 9. It plays great. Was I always feeling the animation of the series? I'm starting to get, like, some iffiness. And I don't know if it's me, though, but the audio feels a little weird. Like, almost like it's washed. Like, it's watery. Just like the game. I'm not explaining it. But you know how they, like, say the same thing, like, 1,000 times, and you're like, shut up. Shut up. It felt like that a little bit. I don't know. They do, like, this filter so that way you don't get tired of something. And I kind of felt it here. But it don't really matter. This is fantastic. This series is fantastic. Don't let that... I'm just talking stupid, guys. Don't worry. Anyway, let's get to the question of the day. I don't want to make this too long. That play-by-play was pretty intense. How did you feel about Jinx and Vi getting separated? I did not see it coming. And I'm wondering, is there going to be a time skip? Like, there has to be a time skip, right? But, hey. There we go. Anyway, guys, hope you stay safe. Until next time, peace out.